Let x be a number. Translate the English phrase or sentence into a mathematical expression. Then evaluate the expression for x equals 6. So this is something we're going to want to do a lot in algebra. We're going to have expressions that are given to us in English, and we're going to need to do the translation into math. So very similar to what you would do if you were in a foreign language class. You would be translating from English to Spanish or from English to French. In this case, we're going to be translating from English to a mathematical expression. So let's take a look at what we've got here. The first problem, they're asking us to translate the quotient of the number and 2. So the quotient is a word that will always mean that I'm dealing with a division problem. And so they're telling us that we want to find the quotient of the number and 2. So when I'm finding the quotient, I can just go ahead and put the information in the order that it was given to me. Now remember, they gave us the variable they want us to use. They want us to use x for our number. So we're going to use that. The quotient of the number and 2, well, there's the number. Quotient means divide by, and they're asking us to divide by 2. So there's the mathematical expression for the quotient of a number and 2. Now remember, that wasn't the only thing they told us to do. There's this then. Then what are we supposed to do? Then we're supposed to evaluate the expression for x equals 6. So here's my expression. Now I'm going to evaluate it for x equals 6. So I'm going to take the x out, and I'm going to put a 6 in its place. And the divide by 2 is just going to come along for the ride. So there's my substitution step. And now I'm going to simplify. I'm going to actually do the math here. 6 divided by 2 would give me 3. So here's the answer to the first part of the question. Do the evaluation, or sorry, this is do the translation. So here we translate, and then the next 2 steps that we have here, this is where we evaluate. So let's take a look at the next problem. In this next problem, we're being asked to subtract 4 from the number. Now this from is really important, so we're going to be subtracting 4 from the number. So remember that our number is x. And from that number, we're going to subtract 4. So from the number, we're going to take away 4. So we need to be sure that the minus 4 comes here. If we were to write this as 4 minus x, that wouldn't be correct. That's not what this problem is saying. Even though the 4 comes first here, we need to pay attention to what the words are telling us to do in terms of the order. So here we've done our translation. Now we're going to do our evaluation. So we're going to take the x and we're going to get rid of the x. The x is going to go away. In its place, we're going to put in, remember, they're telling us to evaluate for 6. So 6 minus 4, and 6 minus 4 we know is 2. So again, here we translate, and here we evaluate. The last problem, the product of 6 and the number, well, product is a word that means to multiply. So if we're going to find the product of 6 and the number of 6 and the number they told us was x, so we can write this as 6 times x with the multiplication dot. We could also write this as 6 with the parentheses and the x there, or the easiest way to write it is just writing 6x. Any one of those would be a fine way to write the product of 6 and the number. Then our final step is to do the evaluation for x equals 6. So we're going to come down here and we've got 6 times x. Well, remember what we said, that x is going to go out, and in its place is going to come in that 6. In this case, we have 6 times 6. Well, that's fine. 6 times 6 is 36. So there's the evaluation part, and up here, remember, we did the translation part.